Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Okay, we're back with Nisha Jackson from Veritas Counseling. By the way, Veritas Counseling. I'm sorry, that's Patrick. I apologize. Ventana Wellness.
Maybe that's where I'll be heading after
this. I
wasn't
focused. See, I didn't take my magnesium this morning. Anyway, ventanawellness.com. Check it out. It's an incredible resource, a great clinic, and great services there for you to check out. And that's ventanawellness.com. And of course, I've been seeing Tim McCurdy the last couple of weeks.
Oh.
And you talk about the sun thing. I have to wear big brim hats.
Yes.
So, because I had a little problem.
Yes.
But he took care of it.
Yes.
He froze my brain. He had that little gun and go like that.
He is a great skin specialist.
Yeah.
He's got those laser eyes
on
those little spots on your body.
Okay. So you want to help our gut too. We got our brain figured out.
Yes.
We got a lot of gut problems going on.
Yes, you know, I think many people make the mistake of thinking that their gut is basically related to, like, if you have stomach pain or you have bowel problems or you have indigestion, that's really what your gut is all about. But your gut is the foundation of your entire health. It's really where your health begins. And so, and also the interesting thing about your gut is 60 to 80% of your entire immune system is located in the gut. So what we see now, we know so much more about the gut than we used to from a medical standpoint. But now what we see is that we see chronic problems stemming from gut issues, meaning just basic gut issues like you're eating bad food, you're not replacing good food, you don't have the right bacteria in the gut, and those are some of the things I want to just briefly go over today. But you can develop autoimmune disorders such as fibromyalgia, arthritis. You can also have hormonal imbalances. You can have problems with, again, memory and concentration, serious skin issues just from not having the right gut balance. So I know that this is becoming more and more of a topic of interest to people because they want to know that what they're eating and all these supplements that they're paying to take, you know, they're paying money to buy them and take them, they want to make sure that they're getting the best benefit from them. And that all starts in the gut. Okay.
Well, let's go through the 10 problems or 10 issues.
Yes. So you know you have a gut problem if here are 10 things that may be going on that could be predisposing you to a gut problem, and then we're going to talk about what you can do about that. Food allergies and sensitivities, of course, is a big one. The other one is if you have chronic anxiety or even more acute anxiety, so you haven't really suffered from it in the past or your anxiety is getting worse, that actually could be something that's going on from the gut level, such as if your gut is not absorbing B vitamins as well as it has in the past, you will not be able to make the neurobrain chemicals that help keep you calm as much as you did in the past. So that's just something to kind of, you don't think really about anxiety in the gut. Depression, mood swings and irritability, skin problems like rosacea, even new brown patches on your skin. Some people relate to those as liver spots, could be something that's going on with the gut. Diabetes, I said autoimmune disorders, if you're getting frequent infections, and that could be even infections in the ear, infections on the skin that are not healing well. And then, of course, there's the bloating, the gas, the diarrhea, or the combination of irritable bowel symptoms that have you go between constipation and diarrhea. So if any of those things are going on, I think the gut is a good place to start, and there's many things that people can do on their own. In fact, if you've already been to the healthcare provider and they said, well, there's nothing wrong, I don't really know why you're having this problem, so just eat better and live right. So if you get the information that everything's okay from a gut standpoint and you've been checked out, or if you want to just start getting healthier, here's some tips that you can use to start changing the gut health.
All right.
The first one is what we talk about, it seems like every single time on this show, and that is remove the inflammatory foods. So those would be junk foods.
Sugar.
Junk foods. Foods that your body typically are man-made, and your body has no purpose for them. So if you're drinking,
not even enjoyment.
if you're drinking alcohol, drinking excessive caffeine, artificial colorings, artificial preservatives. If there are more ingredients on the box that you're eating, you know, the food that's in the box that you're eating, that you can't pronounce, you probably shouldn't even eat it. So getting back to the basics, and that is taking the inflammatory foods out, because many of the food sensitivities originate from all these chemicals that we're taking in, especially soft drinks too. That's another thing that we should probably get rid of. Replacing the good foods, so replacing the foods that cause our body to have enough antioxidants that we can fight all of this bad stuff, the free radicals that come from the poor eating that we've been doing. So basically any food that's really colorful, fruits and vegetables, but as many vegetables as possible and as high a fiber as possible. And eliminating foods that cause inflammation, but replacing them with foods that really provide a better balance for the gut. The other thing is re-inoculating your gut, and that is starting to use digestive enzymes. Bringing digestive enzymes back into the gut, and also the lactobacilli, which is like acidophilus. Lactobacilli eating about 50 billion units of the lactobacilli a day will actually put the good bacteria in the gut and will help fight the overgrowth of other yeast organisms that might be there, keeping you from digesting your food.
Such as what?
Just a supplement that you can purchase over the counter.
Okay.
Yeah. And then L-glutamine is another supplement that we often use in our office to help repair the gut lining, because sometimes what happens is that if you have chronic yeast in your gut, or you've been eating very poorly. This happens a lot with children, where they're eating just junk food all of the time, and they're not getting a good balance of colorful foods in their diet. They actually start eroding the gut lining. So adding L-glutamine back in can really help repair that. Especially people who have struggled with alcoholism in the past should be on L-glutamine, because repairing that gut lining will allow them to have better absorption of their nutrients from their foods, which helps the brain, it helps the nervous system, it helps weight. So people who struggle with chronic weight gain or inability to lose weight do much better if they get the gut back into balance.
Okay, you're getting it here. All right. All right. So is there anything you can take to curb sugar addiction?
Yes. The first thing for sugar addiction, this is probably appropriate to talk about on Junk Food Day. Yes. Yeah. Because I think many people are beating themselves up because they're so addicted to sugar and they don't know what to do about it. And it's very scary is what it is. But the first thing that you have to remember is if you have a family history of alcoholism, obesity, diabetes, or sugaraholics, which really transcends, transcends a lot of segments of the population, you're going to be more at risk for having a sugar addiction. So, you know, we've talked a lot about how do you know you're a sugaraholic, and basically we could sum it up very quickly by saying if you're full and you're not hungry at all, and someone puts a plate of warm chocolate chip cookies in front of you, what would you do with them? And if you have a sugar sensitivity, or you're a sugaraholic like me, you would imagine eating many of the cookies. You would imagine yourself going to the refrigerator and getting a glass of milk, and you would smell them. Your mouth would be salivating. So there's different levels.
Yes.
There's different levels of sugaraholics, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing to know, is that if you have a problem, don't set yourself up for failure. Get the food out of your house. If you have a lot of sugar items in your home and you say, well, it's just because my kids like them, your kids don't need them either. There's zero nutrients in sugary foods. So get them away from you so you're not tempted. If you were an alcoholic, you would not keep, you know, alcohol in your cupboards and say, well, I'm just going to try to stay away from it. You wouldn't have it in your house. So I think that that's one thing that is important to remember. The other thing is chromium is a very important mineral that helps stabilize your insulin and your glucose levels. So taking chromium, 200 micrograms before each meal, can be very helpful for people that are really struggling with it. And then making sure that you're eating, I call it infant style, so eating about every 2 to 3 hours, something small that has protein and a good carbohydrate in it, so that you're keeping your blood sugar very balanced throughout the day. Because the problem is, if you go more than 3 to 4 hours without eating and you have kind of a sugar sensitivity problem, The issue is that when your blood sugar drops, your brain is not going to scream broccoli. It's going to scream chocolate or sugar, right?
Right.
So it's just working with yourself and just realizing, I kind of have this problem. I love sugar. Sugar is readily available. It's very socially acceptable. So I'm going to do what my body needs in order to keep my blood sugar balanced. I'm going to keep my nutrients high in my diet, lots of colorful foods, and I'm going to take supplements like chromium. I'm going to make sure I get good sleep at night because, you know, we eat junk food when we're tired. It's kind of a comfort thing.
Yeah.
Or stressed.
Or crunchy. Anything that's crunchy.
Yes. I would rather people suck on a pacifier than eat something crunchy because sometimes it just comes down to we're just eating too much food, you know?
Yeah.
So that little pressure point in the roof of the mouth, when it's pressed, it calms people down. So that's why I say pacifier, because that's why people eat. It calms them down. But really, it's that pressure point. So maybe just stick your thumb in your mouth or something.
Okay.
We're going in all sorts of directions today.
Yeah, boy, that's wonderful. All right, again, VentanaWellness.com, check it out. And by the way, there's a gazillion cleanses out there. What do you recommend to start? Because a lot of people realize, hey, wait, I got to stop here. I got to do a lifestyle change, and I got to clean myself out.
Yes, the cleanse. There are many cleanses out there, but I really think the easiest and best cleanse for people to do is take out all the sugar and all the flour out of the diet. So anything that's made from flour or sugar, drink a lot of water, take a good liver support supplement. That's the key, is liver support supplement. Get the gut back into balance and do it for 10 days straight. And eating regularly throughout the day and not past about 7 or 7:30 at night. So giving your gut exactly what it needs and nothing that it doesn't need.
Well, thanks for helping us balance National Junk Food Day.
You're welcome.
And again, VentanaWellness.com, great resource, clinic full of just great professionals to help you with all of these issues, headed up by Nisha Jackson. So check it out. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, next
Have a
time
great
we'll
week.
do some family planning, maybe?
Yes.
Are you getting more involved in that now?
Kind of. Yeah.
Fertility issues?
Not personally, but
I got to get you and Patrick on the same show. All right, VentanaWellness.com. We'll be right back. Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Delighted to have Nisha Jackson back in the house from Ventana Wellness. And today is, we've been telling you all day long, today is National Junk Food Day. But I have to ask Nisha, because Steve wants me to ask you this. Is there anything in the junk food menu that possibly could pass as being okay?
well, no, there isn't. I hate to be a downer on this Monday. There really isn't, because just by the nature of the name, junk probably means everything's axed.
So
But
a
we
low-carb
could
burger doesn't work?
We could disguise things as junk.
But if you wrap the burger in lettuce, come on, work with me here.
Yes. But hamburgers really aren't junk food.
Okay, that's
That's kind of that is a meal.
protein.
Yes, absolutely. And if you had a high fiber bun, or you didn't have the bun at all, like you said, wrapped in lettuce, that's a meal. That's not really junk food.
Okay.
You know, when I think about junk food, I think about artificial colorings, preservatives, typically has gluten in it. So that's what I think about when I think about junk food.
All right,
so I think all of that stuff should be axed.
Live on television. Does Nisha Jackson have a favorite junk food?
You know what? I love peanut butter. Even though peanut butter is not really a junk food, I love peanut butter. And if you mix peanut butter with chocolate,
you're done.
Oh, yeah. So Reese's peanut butter cups.
Okay.
Huge weakness.
Well, I made the admittance. Mine is the caramel cashew cookie at Trader Joe's.
Oh.
And I don't know why they put the word caramel in there, because I've yet to taste it. But it's a butter cookie with cashews in it. And I have to tell you, I guarantee you cannot eat one.
That's a problem.
All right. So all this junk food does take its toll on our brain, right?
What, National Junk Food Day? I don't get it. So that today is actually National Junk Food Day?
This must have been put out by fast food people. Yeah, it is National Junk Food Day.
Wow,
so,
okay.
Anyway, it's also,
don't adhere to it.
It's also Get Out of the Doghouse Day, so I don't know what Rick's done, but let him go, okay? All right, so let's talk about our brains today.
Yes, yes. So many people, Perry, are worried. I get this email all the time and these questions in the office. What's wrong with me? Why can't I remember anything? I'm missing words. My concentration is really poor. Somebody will look right at me and say something, and I don't know what they're saying. I can't remember it. And people are legitimately worried about their brains. And I've even felt like that at times, where you're kind of worried, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So there are some simple things that you can do that really will help boost your brain's power that I thought we should talk about today.
Let's do that, because I don't know if it's a sign of the times or if it's the digital world that we live in. Are we on overload? What are we doing to ourselves?
Well, I think that is, if you just kind of step back for a minute and you say, why can't I remember something that somebody just told me 3 minutes ago or 2 hours ago?
Yeah.
That happens all the time. People actually walk into the bathroom and forget why they're there. So maybe that's more of a female thing.
No. I think women admit it, men don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that if you step back a little bit and you look at the situation, it's easy to say our brains were not really designed to be able to process the way we try to make them process. And women are more notorious for this, and that is having 5 or 6 things going on. Like when we're talking like this, we should be focusing on what we're talking about. We should be personally engaged with our conversation. Just pretend. But what we're doing is we're thinking about, we got to go pick up the kids. I'm late for the next appointment. I've got to make sure I get gas in the car. I mean, our brain is in so many different directions. No wonder by the end of the day, we don't really have patience for our family members, or we don't really act the way we want to act, because we're just absolutely mentally fried. So I think that is the first and the easiest thing for us. Well, maybe it's not the easiest thing, but the first thing that we can do is to just concentrate and focus on the person who's in front of you, whether it be your children, your coworkers, or the task at hand. Because if you find yourself with your brain wandering to 2 or 3 different things, most likely you're not going to remember what you're doing. And it won't be a memorable experience, which could be a hazard for your job, but could also be not a pleasant thing for somebody else that said, I just told you that. Why aren't you focusing? So there really isn't probably dementia setting in. It's most likely that you're not focusing on one thing at a time. And this does change as you get older. I think men and women, especially women, are able to go between multiple tasks before the age of 30. And after the age of 30, 35, they have a very difficult time being able to process many things at one time. But just remember, our brain really wasn't designed to do that to begin with. So we're asking more of it than we should.
Okay.
So, exercise. A recent study actually showed that 3 days for 15 minutes of jogging grew thousands of new brain cells. Thousands.
Wow.
That is, yeah, so that, I'm sure that translates to any form of exercise, because all you're doing, Perry, is you're circulating oxygen to the brain. So if we're sitting all day and processing mentally and we're not moving around, and so we have reduced oxygen to the brain, you will not be able to generate new brain cells as quickly as you could if you'd get up and move around. Isn't that fascinating? Whoa. I thought there's hope for me. I can grow new brain cells
well, listen,
at 50.
You're a walker. I know you get out and go for it, so you're doing okay.
Yeah. And being in nature, I think, they've done a lot of research on exercise in nature, and we know that just being in nature makes a big difference with growing new brain cells and developing your brain. Also, I'm not a big napper. In fact, I really don't nap at all. But after reading the recent research about napping, I'm kind of more interested in napping.
I took 2 lengthy naps over the weekend.
You do that often, don't you, on the weekend? That's good.
I get up at 3:34, so.
Yeah, that's good. So napping after lunch has shown to revitalize the brain and enhances your memory dramatically, even 10 minutes after lunch. Now, for some reason, the study was focused on after lunch. They did look at napping prior to lunch, but they found out that it was more effective right after lunch, but before 2 or 3 p.m. So if you're napping after 2 to 3 p.m., the problem is that you're going to interfere with your sleep patterns at night.
Okay.
So napping before 2 to 3 p.m. is pretty important.
I'm all for it.
Yes. So, and just remember 10 to 30 minutes and no longer than that is what the study was focused on with improving your ability to remember things.
All right. And stay focused.
Yes.
Now, is there any supplements involved in any of this?
Yes. Magnesium is one of the best supplements, and so is carnitine for brain power. I've actually had the most success using carnitine, which is an amino acid in my office, to help boost brain power. I think all amino acids are probably pretty good for the brain. So amino acids are byproducts of protein, right? Mm-hmm. So from a diet standpoint, it's really important to try to eat foods that are not inflammatory. So protein is a brain food. It's also a muscle food. And eating more protein and also more magnesium helps stimulate the brain. So foods that are rich in magnesium, nuts and seeds, are also very good for the brain.
Where does the magnesium calcium thing come into play?
Well, the magnesium and calcium is important. You know, calcium is, you could take 1 trillion milligrams of calcium a day, and it wouldn't make any difference if you don't have enough vitamin D and magnesium. So vitamin D and magnesium actually help the absorption of the calcium into the bone. So it's real important that you have enough vitamin D in your diet and that you're supplementing with it. It's almost impossible to get enough vitamin D in your diet. You really do need to supplement with it. Okay. So, and the calcium-magnesium ratio, just in case most people don't know this, your magnesium should be about half of your calcium dose. So that's just an easy way to try to remember it. Magnesium is about half. But magnesium is very good for the brain. It relaxes the brain, so it is able to take in more information. So magnesium is very important for the chemical processing of our thoughts, and also has been shown to enhance memory and concentration and word finding.
I take 1 a day.
1 magnesium a day?
Tablet.
Oh, nice. Now, magnesium...
I think that's what it is, if I remembered it. No. Yeah, it's magnesium. I remember the M on the bottle.
Yes. So one thing that people often don't realize, that magnesium, I believe, should be taken in the evening because it's a relaxant. So, and some people, it actually makes them sleepy.
I make notes of that.
I could take magnesium in the evening, and within an hour, I'm very sleepy. So that's the other thing that you should try to remember. Now, 2 other things I want to talk about for boosting the brain that have to do with our summertime. Number 1 is sunbathing. Sunbathing has been shown in multiple studies, but a more recent study that was pretty profound, to significantly reduce the incidence of dementia. Sunbathing. Now, we're not talking about going and frying our skin and developing skin problems. But I think any time in medicine, and we've had this discussion before, any time in medicine that you hear someone say, never do this, and it's something as natural as the sun, you have to be a little bit cautious about that information, because the sun is so important. I mean, why would we have the sun? Right?
Yeah,
the sun is a natural element. Yeah, exactly. We get vitamin D, but they've also found that it actually stimulates brain cells to be out in the sun. Now, I'm going to tie that into nature, because I think being in nature is also really important. But the sun has shown to significantly reduce the incidence of dementia, but it's only about 20 to 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Okay. So we're not talking about, again, frying your skin.
Okay. And the other one?
Yes, one more. Mowing the lawn. I'm not kidding you. We have a study now. Actually, we have several studies, but...
Is it the cut grass now? Or what is it?
Yes, exactly.
It is?
Yes. They have found that the aroma that is elicited from mowing the lawn actually stimulates new brain cells to be formed, and for people to be relaxed to the point that they can remember things better. Is that amazing? It's so, the study was so significant.
Did men come up with this as an excuse to get their wives to mow the lawn?
Yeah. The study was so significant, they actually came out with a perfume that's called Udamo. Udamo. And it's actually the scent of fresh cut grass. I'm not kidding.
Okay. All right. Well, you heard it here on the Dove.
That's right. But I thought that's sort of applicable to the summertime, you know.
All right. So we got magnesium, vitamin D, 20 to 30 minutes 3 times a week for the sunshine.
Right.
And get out and mow the grass once a week.
Exactly. Hydrate yourself and exercise.
And take a walk, yeah.
That's right. In nature, even better.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, she's got 10 gut items. Yeah, really. For your gut, right?
Yes.
Okay, we'll be right back with Nisha Jackson.